What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Super excited to have you here. It's your girl Alicia. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Seriously, thank you for tuning back in to our Saturday chats. Though today is not Saturday, today we're filming a bit earlier because by the time that you watch this video, I will be at McMaster University doing a presentation for the Empower Her event, which I'm very excited for because it's kind of like a full circle moment. I've been having a lot of full circle moments this right now, like from January, February coming into March. But before we get further into our conversation today, I would like you to subscribe, like, and send this to a friend. If you resonate with any of this or you decide to do anything that we are doing in this chat today, send this to a friend that you believe might need this as well. And before you go anywhere, go to that link in our bio and subscribe to Your Wellness Club on Substack, because that's where I do a lot of my other thinking and my recipes and anything to do with movement. Everything Sia Wellness is in Your Wellness Club, and that is another area that you can reach me at as well, and all other social medias. But subscribe to Your Wellness Club, hit that link in that bio. Cool. So our little chat today is, we're going to be talking about what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be discussing at McMaster on Saturday. But background story on how we got there, I guess. It's not long, it's a very short story. So last year, actually, around this time for Women's Day, I got asked to do a segment at McMaster for movement and like mindfulness, meditation, journaling prompt. And this is something that I really love to do. I feel like I'm mastering the art of journaling because it's something that's ingrained into my every single day. And the process of writing down your thoughts, seeing all the like things that you put down, and you come back to it like a few months later or a year later, and you kind of see everything just come into fruition. It's such a beautiful space, but you also get to see yourself evolve and grow in different areas of your life. So I was supposed to do a movement segment and like the journaling prompt segment last year. And when I got there, I ended up having to speak on the panel as well. And you know your girl loves to talk. Yeah, I really love to talk. But what I notice, and as I reflect back at that time, I was so nervous. Like I was nervous just even thinking about what I was going to make the group of the athletes do for a movement segment. And it's crazy because I realize when I am not grounded in myself, that is when I find that my nerves just start to take over. And that's when I know, one, I haven't settled in what it is that I'm actually supposed to be doing, and I'm overthinking the process. This year, I'm not really overthinking the process. I am a little bit, but I'm more grounded in everything that I need to do because this is what I've been asking for. This is what I've wanted for a very long time. So, and honestly, last year after the panel, speaking engagements started picking up even more, which I love. So when you take a step into where it is that you want to be, that's usually a breakthrough, and you just got to keep going. So that day I ended up speaking on the panel, and that's when I kind of came in. I was just like very, very shaky with the first few questions and like trying to tell people who I am and what I do. But then after that, I felt the calmness take over, and every answer that I gave, it came with this like confidence. And I saw everyone in that crowd that day just like connect with me in a way that I didn't think that it was possible. And I was very grateful for that, because I had so many girls come up to me after the panel and ask me a lot more questions and ask me a little bit more in depth about like my journey with bodybuilding and powerlifting and everything around that that I had talked about that day. But then I still got to do the journaling prompt, but not as full scale as I wanted. Now, moving forward, October, I had got an email from McMaster asking if I would be a speaker at their event. That event that was supposed to happen in November didn't happen, but it got pushed to 2025 right now, this year, March 1st. So a full circle moment, because of the fact that I got asked to come back based off of reference from somebody that was sitting in that room that day when I spoke on that panel. And I'm coming back, Women's Day event called Empower Her, and I am their main speaker. So with saying all of that, any one of you that's listening to this right now, if you are in a position and you're feeling like what you're doing is not good enough, it's good enough. Even if you feel that you didn't perform your best, or whatever you're presenting physically as a as a product, or just you in general, you are good enough at any stage that you are at. And I need you to understand that, because if you step into a room and you feel that everyone's staring at you and you might not be good enough and your nerves are starting to get the best of you, and then you stand up on that stage and you start speaking, someone out there is listening. Someone out there is connecting, and they're watching you. So it doesn't matter if you feel that you're ready or not, you're there. So as long as you're there, you're ready, and someone's paying attention. Someone's always paying attention. So just go for it. And I'm happy that I went for it. I'm happy I didn't say no that day when they told me that I was going to be speaking on the panel. I mean, who would I be to say no for speaking on a panel? Your girl loves to talk. But I knew that I was nervous, and I was just like, I don't even know if I have anything to share. But you always have something to share, because everyone's experience in life is different. And though we might have different paths, there are certain things that we all can connect to. So tell your story, share it. Share it everywhere you go, because someone's listening and someone's watching and someone can connect. That is my piece. Now, let's bring it into what I'm actually going to be discussing on Saturday. Now, this whole piece is called Empower Her, and I'm in the business to help others build a lifestyle that resonates with them. This is what I do with my clients from a nutrition perspective, taking it from a holistic lens, connecting their body, connecting their movement, connecting their mind, connecting food, supplements. All of it works together when you're looking to build a lifestyle that resonates with you. And I'm always personalizing it to said person. So I've taken a lot of the things that I've done with a lot of my clients throughout the years and things that I've done with myself, and I kind of put it in a presentation for the ladies at McMaster. And I'm also going to be speaking to about like 80 people, which is actually really cool. Last year, because it was more athletes, the athletes were more in and out of the event. This event is more for those who aren't athletes, but they're also trying to get more students, especially just like women specifically, in the gym, in the classes, the workout classes, because it's not only for the athletes. The facility where everything happens in terms of like moving your body, taking classes, is not only for the athletes, and they're trying to expand it more for just like any of those women that go to that school. And I find that so beautiful, because when I was in school, the gym was a scary place. I never stepped foot in a gym when I was in college. I ended up stepping foot in a gym after college, like 2014, January 6th, no, well, 2013, the end of 2013, December was when I signed up for the gym. But January 16th, 2014 was when like everything changed for me, where I was just like, I need change, and I can't do what it is that I'm doing right now. And from there, my story started. So I hope that all the ladies that come to this event, somewhere within this, their story starts, even if it's Saturday where it starts or after, just from taking from the classes that they do from this event and me speaking. So yeah, I totally went off track just a little bit. I always go off track, but it's okay, we're coming back. So in terms of what I'm going to be discussing with them, the main focus is mindset. We're really looking at the mindset piece in my segment because they're already going to be taking a fitness class and they have a meditation piece. So I really want to drill in with them how their mindset can take them and push them forward based on where they are now and where they want to be. So what I'm going to be doing with you today is kind of like, we're going to go through the 4 questions that I have planned for the exercise that I'm going to be doing with the ladies on Saturday. And I want you to take time today or during your week and sit down with these questions and kind of write out your answers. And by a few months or even a year, come back to it and kind of see where you're at. I'm just going to go into my handy dandy Pizzle because that's where I have my presentation. So the exercise is called What Are Your Intentions? And what I'm going to be doing with the ladies at the Empower Her event, we're going to be working through 4 questions. Though the journal prompt has, I believe, 7 to 8 questions, I wanted to just do 4 with them so they kind of understand what they're doing. So when and if they decide to take home the sheet, the paper that's on their table, they can finish the other questions if they please. So question 1 is, what emotions and thought patterns do you want to release? Now, when we look at this question, what emotions and thought patterns, they really coincide with each other, because if you have one thought pattern where it can be, say, self-doubt, and you're feeling like you're not good enough for anything, not good enough for the job that you're doing or the job that you're pursuing, you're not good enough for the relationship that you're in, you're not good enough for the friendship that you're in, any of that stuff, when you have that self-doubt, alongside of it, there is an emotion that comes out, which is usually, in my opinion, sadness. I feel like when I'm self-doubting myself, I get a wave of sadness. I'm sad, and it's like a self-pity that's kind of growing inside of me, but then sprinkles a little bit of fear. Fear comes because it's stopping me from doing what feels right. But sadness also is that feeling of unhappiness where I'm at or where I want to be. So you see where the self-doubt comes in, where I feel sad because I don't think that I'm good enough for XYZ, but then there's a little bit of fear because why wouldn't I think that I'm good enough for XYZ, for pursuing where I want to be in life, for being in the relationship that I want to be in, or traveling across the world, which I am doing literally in 3 weeks. We'll discuss that. You'll see a lot more on Your Wellness Club. So we'll circle back to that. But coming to that question, what emotions and thought patterns do you want to release? What do you feel is always coming up? Is it jealousy? Is it fear? Is it sadness? Are you always anxious? All of that, yes, it is normal, and it's okay to feel those emotions. I'm always happy that I'm able to feel the emotions that I feel, because I spent a lot of time trying to suppress it and using different outlets so I wouldn't have to face the emotions that were right in front of me. I now face my emotions headstrong because that's a door that helps me navigate where I need to get to when I decide to sit and feel what it is that I'm feeling. So when it comes to writing down things that you do want to release, and it's certain emotions, when you write down these emotions, ask yourself, why do you want to release them? Why are these emotions coming up all the time? Where are they coming from? Is it a person? Is it a thing? Is it a place? Right? Think about where it is that those emotions come up most, and ask yourself, if this is the reason why you want to release them. And then on the other side of it, with your thought process, whether it's the self-doubt, feelings of not being good enough, thinking about what others will think of you, the constant need to change something about yourself or what you look like, thinking that you're a failure even though you're not. And I believe failure is such a beautiful thing, because within success there should be failure, and with failure there is success, because there's always something to learn. And if you're constantly afraid of failure, and that's the reason why you're not going to try and start something, take a moment and look at where you are in your life right now, and think about all the times that you failed at something, and every single time you got up and you went and you did it again, you tried something new and you succeeded. Now take that and apply it to what it is that you're afraid of doing now. So when you do this exercise, what emotions you want to release and thought patterns that you want to release, sit down and just think about the things that are constantly reoccurring for you. And when you see, or when you start realizing the things that are constantly reoccurring, that's what it is that you want to pour out. Once you pour those things out onto that piece of paper, it's no longer harboring inside of you. It's now released into the world, and you can actually now work through it. You can start seeing what it is that you want to work through physically, and each day something new will help you get through that. And I say this because I've done it, and I see it happen for me every single time that I allow myself to release my emotions, release my thought patterns, and I also catch my thought patterns now before they take over. For the most part, I'm really good at that. But sometimes it takes over, and I have to sit in it until I'm ready to be like, whoa, that's enough. You can chill. You're no longer taking control of everything that's in my path right now. I'm in control. Me and God is in control of this path. My thought patterns of negativity is no longer in control. So that's number one. So I would like you to sit down and think about what emotions come up all the time, what thought patterns is coming up all the time, and how you want to work through that. Question number 2. Who can I ask for support? So when I think about this question, you got to breathe sometimes with this question, because some of you may be able to write down your support system like this very fast, and that is amazing, and I love that. For those of you that can't write down a list of people as a support system for you, I want you to think about these three specific people that might come to mind. So someone you can trust. So prioritizing an individual people you can trust. So prioritizing individuals you feel comfortable talking to and who are likely to offer genuine support. So when I think about someone that I can trust, I'm 32 now, and I believe I have a really great support system. So I can name so many people on one hand that I stay with every single day, that I know that I can trust them. And honestly, it's my partners, my boyfriend, my love, the love of my life. It's my sisters and like one or two close friends outside of my sisters, you know, and those are the people that I can trust, my mom and my dad too. And those are the people that I go on for support with. And that's what I love that I have. Some people might not be able to say, well, I had that relationship with my siblings that I full out trust them, or my parents that I full out trust them. Sometimes it's someone that's out of your family that you talk to every single day and you've been through everything with. That's the person that you'd probably want to write down. Specific needs. So this one is consider who has the skills or knowledge most relevant to your situation. So when you think about this question, someone that has the skills or knowledge, think about what it is that you are trying to attain in your life right now and in your future. So think 5 years from now, where it is that you want to be. And now come back to where you are right now. What skills do you need to have and knowledge do you need to have to get there? If you know that you don't have all the skills that you need, nor the knowledge, look around, and this is where like a mentor comes in. This is where a mentor comes in. And if you don't have that mentor, this is where you can start looking for one. You start looking for someone with the types of skills that you want to attain and knowledge that you want to attain in order for you to get to where you want. That is another support system. I'm very grateful that I have 2 specific mentors that I've worked with in my business for the past 6 years that I'm able to send an email to, send a message to, pick up the phone and call and ask them a question, and even just be like, hey, can we go grab some lunch and just spit off like ideas with each other and help me navigate where I need to be. So that is a specific need. And I want you to think about what it is that you want to do in terms of your intentions. And then professional help. If your needs are complex or you're facing a crisis, I can't speak today. So professional help. If your needs are complex or you're facing crisis, seeking professional help from a therapist or a counselor can be beneficial. Now, I like this one because I do believe in therapy. I've had a therapist before and it really helped me. One thing though, what I truly believe when it comes to therapy for myself is that, and honestly for everyone else too, it takes time to find the right person. And when you're able to find the right person that can help you with specific needs that might be a lot more complex than someone that you trust can give you help with, or your mentor could give you help with, talking to someone with a professional skill like a counselor or a therapist is always great. I always go back and think about like the counselors that I had in high school, and they helped me so much. They helped me, well, 2 in particular helped me, but one of them I saw her, I think now like 3 or 4 years ago. And this is when I was working at Apple. And I kid you not, you guys, I had a full breakdown. I literally cried because she got me through so much when I left high school and I was in college, and anxiety was just overriding me. And I didn't know who I can actually turn to. And just for an example, I didn't know who I could turn to. I couldn't really talk to my best friend at the time. I didn't feel like I could call up my sisters and talk to them about certain things. And I didn't have a mentor at the time either. But the one person I always knew that I was able to call because her door was always open to me was my counselor at that time. And I literally just thank her every single day, even though I hadn't talked to her in a while. But I'm very thankful for her because there's so many things that I was going through that my anxiety just wouldn't give me a break during that time. And she helped me so much. And as years went by, I did get a therapist, and they helped me a lot too, for allowing me to see things that I didn't even know that was happening. So professional help is a good one. So when you do, who can I ask for support? Think of those three things if you feel that you don't know who you can write down. So think about these three things specifically, and probably put one or two people for each category. So our third question is, what can I remove to make room for the new things in my life? So when I thought about this question, it does sound like boundaries. It does come in where it's like, okay, what boundaries do you need to put up in order for you to be who you need to be and attain what it is that you're looking to attain. But it's not only boundaries that you need to think about when it comes to this question. Other areas for this question in terms of what you can remove in order for you to make room for the new things in your life, you could think about your physical space. Think about the room that you live in or the house that you live in, and what might be in there that you're harboring for way too long. Some people are hoarders and they need to let it go, right? So what are you holding on to that is old or maybe damaged or expired? That's your room, your kitchen, your car. This is actually a good example. So I have this thing where I will see something and my brain will start twitching, where I'm like, I need to change this needs to change, or I need to clean this. I clean my room every Sunday, and I start throwing away clothes, because sometimes you realize, like, there are clothes that you just don't wear, and there are clothes that you wear all the time. And I realized that as much as I have a specific amount of clothes, there are a lot of clothes that I just don't wear, and I know I'm not going to wear them regardless of what season it is. So each week or once a month, I'm usually throwing away a lot of clothes. Now, in particular now to the kitchen, there are times where I'm just like, oh, this kitchen needs to just be cleaned. And I think it was at the end of January, I did the deepest clean of the kitchen. It took me all day, and I made sure nobody bothered me. So I went from the cupboard, looked at everything in terms of expiry dates, from supplements to foods, from anything that I knew that nobody was having. I'm like, it's out. No one was allowed to say but. No one was allowed to say, maybe I will have, no. Throwing it out, because this allows you to make space. It's so freeing. I even went to the point that I went inside the drawers where we have like the plastic containers, and I threw all of that out. I went into the other cupboards and I dug through, and I saw containers and everything that we weren't using, threw it out. And by the time that I was done, everything just felt so much lighter. Now, is the kitchen going to accumulate new things? Yes, I know that. But there's this space that comes in when you clear a lot of things out, and then you start seeing yourself feeling lighter, a lot more creativity coming through, clarity coming through. So this is where, when you remove things and you start asking yourself, what can you start removing to make room? Think of not just boundaries, but physical space. You can also think about time management. How can you time block throughout your day to make room for things? What are you going to start adding in and taking out? What's working and what's not working? Also think about mental health, just going back to the first question of like your emotions and your thought process. And then even social life. Start assessing the people that are around you that are doing good in your life, and then also causing harm or negativity in your life as well. Now, the last question that I'm going to be doing with the ladies is, what dreams and desires have been placed on your heart? When you think about this question, you want to think about what it is that reoccurs constantly on your mind. And I want you to also think about the feeling that comes up. Now, for example, for myself, something that's constantly on my mind, and I visualize it, I see it every day, it's in my dreams, it's on my vision board, is speaking in front of big crowds and writing. And those are two of my passions. And when I tell you, when I think about these things, and I know it's something that has been placed on my heart, it makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel so grounded within myself that I'm able to say, this is me speaking my truth. This is something that I'm able to do every single day and not get tired of. There are days that there are going to be moments where I might feel blocked because I'm not inspired, but then I go back to the other question and I ask myself, what is it that I need to remove in order for me to make room? So when I think about what dreams and desires have been placed on my heart, you want to think about what makes your heart feel alive and fulfilled when you think about achieving it. And every single time, something like this, where I get an email or a call about speaking at a school, speaking for a corporation, speaking for an athletic facility, everything inside me is jumping with excitement because I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that my voice is what I'm supposed to be using because there's a story to be told, there's knowledge to be shared, and someone out there is listening. So that's what you want to think about. What dreams and desires have been placed on your heart when you're thinking about this question? Think about what always reoccurs in your mind, even if it's that thing that you're like, well, I went to school for this, and this is what I really want to do. If that's what you want to do it. Go for it. And if you need help seeking somebody that has the skill sets and the knowledge, go back to your list and see who it is that you wrote down for that. And if you've never talked to them or reached out to them before, start writing up an email. Start searching up their number. Start looking them up on whatever social media platform and just saying, hi, nice to meet you. You inspire me, and I would love to work with you one-on-one as my mentor, because I believe that there's skills and knowledge that you hold that I can learn from. And then sign off your name. So those are the 4 questions that I'm actually going to be going through the ladies with on Saturday for the Empower Her event. Me actually doing this talk helped me go through a lot more of my flow for my presentation. So what I usually do when I'm doing presentations, I take the week, and the week is really only about what I am working towards for that presentation. Obviously, I'm taking my client calls and their check-ins and checking off all the other things that I have to do, but my presentations become me. My presentations become every single day. I am recording myself on camera. I'm recording myself on my phone. I am building my presentations on Canva, having the visuals, and then from there, I am repeating it over and over and over again until I'm nailing it. For most parts, I do write out like cue cards, but I don't use cue cards when I'm talking because nor do I really memorize everything what I'm saying, because most of the time I'm in the moment. Now, I'm going to save this. When I get my TED Talk, definitely going to have a full speech memorize on cue cards, but memorize to the point that when I'm on that stage, I won't have to use any cue cards. But yeah, that is my big girl dream, is TED Talk, and I know she's gonna happen because I already said it, I'm working towards it, and I'm building. So yeah, that is our talk for today. if any of those questions you resonate with and you're going to sit down and do this exercise, let me know how it goes. Comment below, send this to a friend as well, or if you decide to do like a whole group thing with your friends and you use this video with those 4 questions, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback and everything that you took from it as well. So I'm your girl Alicia. Hope to see you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and send this to a friend, and also hit that button in the link in the bio to subscribe to Your Wellness Club on Substack. See you guys later. Bye. Well, this is a full circle moment. I've been saying this all day today because I was here last year. But my name is Alicia Mojent. I'm a nutritional practitioner. I'm a strength coach, a speaker, and a writer, which is like crazy to say and fun to say. But also, I am someone that struggled a lot with anxiety. I grew up with an eating disorder. I like to say I'm a people pleaser as well, and someone that just likes to have control, knowing that control isn't everything. So these are all titles that I've given myself and things that people have given me as well. But one thing that I know that I am not is those things that do not define me. So growing up with an eating disorder did not define who I am today, because I was able to get through so many different obstacles from that. I know that people pleasing means that there are times that I have to say no, so I have to set boundaries up, and even though that's hard for me here and there, even at the age that I'm at now, I'm still able to say yes when I need to and no when I don't want to. And then when it came to anxiety is something that I struggled with based off of the eating disorder that I developed growing up. But I was able to take a stand for myself in realizing that my anxiety, not only if I'm anxious or not, I have the ability to have control of it and be able to work through it. So today, I'm going to be going through a lot of different journal prompts with you. There are pieces of papers on the table that you will see, but I'm going to be navigating you through 4 questions. But before we get into all of that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about myself. So I like to say that I am in the business of helping people build a lifestyle that resonates with them, but also helping people build a lifestyle in terms of building a better relationship with food. Now, the reason why I started to navigate through my journey with my business and with myself is because I had to look at myself and see what it was that I was doing, and had to ask myself, how can I help others if I'm not able to help myself? And I had to start from the beginning. So when it came to building a better relationship with food, I was actually having this conversation with Logan earlier today. There are 4 questions or 4 things that I started to do when I was in college. And that was based on the help that I got from a counselor. So the first thing was, whenever I went grocery shopping, I had to choose 1 to 2 new different produce. So 1 new fruit, 1 new vegetable. That helped me start navigating foods in terms of things that I liked, things that I didn't like, but being able to try new things and be able to say that, okay, trying something new is okay, but if I didn't like it, that was okay as well. The other thing was movement. I grew up as a competitive gymnast and cheerleader from the age of 4. So you can imagine that being in a sport like that, I had to always make sure my mindset was on point. I thought that my body had to look a certain way, because that was the conversation that I had to have every single day I stepped into the gym. And that took a very big toll on me when I was 13 years old, and started to think, okay, well, if I look like this, it doesn't mean that I'm an athlete. It doesn't mean that I'm a gymnast, or it doesn't mean that I'm good enough.
My body was the thing that controlled me the most to tell me that I was good enough for anything and everything that I wanted to do, which was wrong. Now, within all of that, I also got told to have omega-3s. So we know omega-3s are really great for brain health. But on top of that was get sunlight as well. So I started to create this routine for myself where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the health food store, I'm gonna grab omega-3s, gonna make sure I have that in the morning. When I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna make sure that I grab 1 to 2 new fruits or vegetables each week that I can try. And then I'm also going to go for a run every single morning because it double whammied with the sun and moving my body, even though I was still cheerleading. The reason why this was very important for me is because back then I had a concussion that kind of took over myself. I didn't know how to get out of bed and be like, well, I could do this. I didn't know how to talk to others about things that I was going through. And as I got older, I had to start asking myself different questions on how to navigate the ways of my thinking, the ways that I looked at myself, the ways that I talked to people, and the way that I just needed to be in the world. But a lot of it came from me comparing myself. This is very loud, sorry. A lot of it came from comparing myself to people that I would see on social media, because during that time, that was the height of social media, when social media started happening. And that was one thing that made me kind of cast a shadow over myself. Because if I thought that I was good at something and I wanted the world to see, it meant that someone else had an opinion on me. And I didn't know how to shut off that white noise because I looked back at my trauma where someone always told me that was good, but. And I always stuck to the negative side of things and trying to make sure I was doing great and looking good so someone can give me validation. And if someone wasn't giving me validation from the words that they were saying, I was trying to see if someone could give me validation from my phone, from something that I posted. So all those likes, all those comments, I was always searching for until one day I had to stop. So when it comes to this journey, this life path that I'm on, and something that I want to come and teach you guys today, the main thing here, whether you're in a high athletic sport, if it's something that you dream about every single day and you feel like you want to do it but you're too scared to, it all starts with your mindset. It all starts with the way that you talk to yourself. It starts with the way that you look at yourself and the way that you present yourself for you, not for somebody else. Because once you start stepping into rooms and believing that you're meant to be there, you step in a room and you believe that you have the power, you have a voice, everything changes, everything shifts. So I decided to do an exercise for myself, and it was called, Who Do You Want to Be? And I would ponder on that question, who do I want to be? Not necessarily on being a speaker or being a fantastic strength coach for others. I needed to know who I needed to be for myself in order for me to see my journey, my path, get to where it is that I wanted to be. So when I started to break things down, I had to look at my habits. My habits, I broke it down as high vibrational and low vibrational, because we all work off of a certain frequency. So when I looked at my low, and I'm gonna put that in quotations, my low vibration self, things that I started to do and things that I started to notice of what I did, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd pick up my phone first thing and I'd just start scrolling. And I started realizing that that started my day off on the wrong path, because I started my day with comparing myself with somebody, and that made me not be productive for the rest of my day, because I saw someone doing something at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning while I was waking up at like 9. And I thought, well, I'm not productive enough, I'm not busy enough, or I just don't have anything to do. When order to see that you have something to do, you actually have to make it work. You have to think about things that you want to do in order for you to do it. So in order for me to see a high vibrational self, something that I could work through every single day, something I could present myself to, someone that I could be for others, I had to start waking up and choosing to spend time with myself, nourishing myself, spending time with God, asking questions, and brain dumping. Every single morning, I kid you not, and there are days where it doesn't happen because life happens, I wake up and I grab my journal and I write three pages. And those pages doesn't mean that it's perfect. It means that I'm just getting off of my head anything and everything that I need to get off, because I don't want to start my day with overly thinking something that is not real. So when I start my day, I spend time with God and I allow myself to be by myself, whether that's listening to music or sitting in quiet, because I live in a household with so many people, it can get really loud.